Chapter 6. Family Court and Banana Splits. Mina's parents, Sarah and David, were amused by the idea of family court, but they played along. They saw it as an opportunity to listen to their daughters and prove they could be fair and flexible. They set up the living room with 2 chairs facing the couch, with Mina and Maya sitting on the couch as the judges. Maya had only been back a few days from her camp, but she was excited to see fireworks going off like this. She couldn't help but fill her face with a giant grin that simply would not go away, though she did try to pretend to be serious and angry at the same time as she was really getting into character. Court is now in session. The judge, jury, and executioners are all present, Mina said with mock seriousness. Maya tapped the table with a wooden spoon. The defendants, Sarah and David Smith, are accused of creating a family schedule with a strict rotation system that, while good-intentioned, is not always the most effective. How do the defendants plead? Her parents chuckled, but their laughter died down as Maya spoke up, her voice surprisingly mature. "It's not that we don't appreciate the effort," she said, her tone a mix of love and frustration. "But sometimes it just doesn't work. The system creates a barrier to us being a real family." Maya took over, providing specific examples. "Like last year, Dad, when you were helping me with my history project on the Roman Empire. You're a history buff, you know so much about it. But your turn was up and Mom had to take over. And she had a slight cold at the time. She had to comply with the rules, and it wasn't her area of interest, so the project just didn't get as much attention as it should have." Sarah winced, remembering the week she spent trying to explain the details of Roman aqueducts. "You're right," she said quietly. "I wasn't very helpful at all." "And what about my science fair project on plant genetics?" Mina added. "That's Mom's jam. Mom is so good at science and even works in a lab, but Dad had to help me with it because it was his turn in the rotation. He was so bored and I ended up doing most of it myself. It was almost a disaster." David looked at his wife, a dawning comprehension on his face. Their system, which they had thought was so essential to ensuring fairness, was actually getting in the way. He realized that a parent with a background in mechanical engineering could have been a huge benefit to Maya's project. Maya and Mina were capable of handling these projects, but they shouldn't have to when their parents were more than willing to help. "We thought that by being so structured we were avoiding hurt feelings," Sarah said. "We wanted to be a stable family, especially because we knew Mina might feel different being adopted and all. So we created this system to make sure that no one ever had a reason to feel left out or that one person was being favored." Although it was true she was adopted, just hearing those words "adopted" always sent chills down Mina's spine, and this time was no different. Mina and Maya exchanged a look. "We know you love us equally," Mina said, her voice full of sincerity. "We've known that for a long time. This system, it just makes us feel like we're not a normal, natural family. It feels like you're trying to describe something that you already have." Maya nodded in agreement. "We don't need it anymore. We've outgrown it." The parents were shocked by the kids' maturity. They had been so focused on preventing a potential problem that they had created a different one. David's eyes got incredibly serious. He looked at his girls, a deep sense of pride and regret mixing in his heart. "You're right," he said, and Sarah agreed. "We're sorry. We'll stop the rotation. We'll just help whenever one of you needs it, whatever it is. No more schedules." A huge wave of relief washed over Mina and Maya. The air in the room felt lighter. "I hope you haven't outgrown banana splits," Sarah said, a smile breaking through her embarrassment. She felt a sudden need to compensate for their carelessness and inability to understand what was going on in their daughters' lives. "Never." Maya and Mina shouted in unison. They all made a dash for the door. With that, the family went to the store. They spent almost $100 putting together the most ridiculous banana split bar imaginable. They bought several different kinds of ice cream, from classic vanilla to strawberry to mint chocolate chip, and every last topping they could find: chocolate syrup, caramel, gummy bears, sprinkles, cherries, nuts, and whipped cream. It was messy and silly and completely organic. They were all laughing, licking whipped cream off their fingers, and truly being together. As Mina spooned a big bite of her split into her mouth, she looked at her dad. He was covered in chocolate syrup, but his eyes were full of genuine, easy joy. This was what she had always wanted. Not a perfectly structured life, but a perfectly real one. As a family, they had finally outgrown an old habit and made a new, more joyful one. It felt real and authentic, and it was the perfect way to end the night after their serious court session they held earlier.